Okay, just wrapping up the finishing touches on the latest iteration of my Flypack. So I'll start you from the bottom. This is my $200 streaming PC that I bought off of Craigslist. I have a link to that in the description. You can go and definitely check it out. After that is just a 2U drawer, just a practical little drawer for storage, cables, miscellaneous odds and ends. After that is the tried and true, trusted Blackmagic design ATEM. This is the television studio model, and a HyperDeck Mini, both sitting on a Terranex rack shelf. Then just the Furman power conditioner with the pull-out lights, and then we'll move up to the rest of the hardware, and this will make more sense once we start talking about software. I have a Ubiquiti APAC light for my local wireless connection, and then I have my Elgato Stream Deck running a piece of software called Companion, and it is currently the control surface for both my ATEM and my streaming software. So let's dig in a little bit more to that. So I am currently and have always used Open Broadcaster for my streaming software and my encoding. So now I can switch over to the ATEM, and the ATEM is currently set to black. So if you see down here, this is my controls for OBS. So slate, ATEM, slate, ATEM, and this works in the background. So even if Open Broadcaster is not the foremost window, this still takes care of it over IP. And then we have this is my controls for my ATEM. So it's very basic. The show I've got coming up is 2 cameras and Pro Presenter. So right now we'll go to camera 1. You can see it actually does show tally feedback. So you can see now camera 1's in preview and camera 2's in program. So if I cut, they switch, and then boom, there we are. So I'm just using a Blackmagic Pocket Cinema, and that's it right there. So if I cut to 2, it'll go to black, no camera's plugged in. Back to camera 1. So that's controlled right here, but see, my scene in OBS isn't changing because that's just running direct out of the ATEM into Open Broadcaster. So that's essentially like my line cut. I don't want to spend too much time on the networking side of things, but it is a very important piece of the puzzle here. So what I have here on top is a Ubiquiti Edge Router X. It's the SFP module version, but I just use the RJ45 connectors. Right here, this is my WAN connection. So this is what carries my internet, and it's actually coming from a different router that I'm using at my home network. But it comes in right here, and then the next port over is my loop out to my 8-port PoE switch. So 4 ports are just regular, and then the last 4 are PoE up to 15 watts. And you can see I have this one looped out and around, powering my access point. And the other stuff is the streaming PC, the ATEM, and the HyperDeck. So all of them are on the same switch, and the router I use to keep all the devices on the same subnet. So regardless, when I go to any venue, whatever the WAN connection is coming in, my devices do not take DHCP from the host connection. They take DHCP from this router, which I have them all mapped. So no matter where I go, my subnet is always the same, which is very important because my production devices, such as the ATEM and the Stream Deck, they all need to be on static IPs. So that's easy to set up. So to recap, whenever I roll up, I just plug in the internet connection to Ethernet 0, and the rest of my devices boot up normally as if nothing even happened. Alright, and finally I did want to show you guys what my monitor would look like, just kind of in a hypothetical situation. So OBS would be running on one side of the screen. I can monitor the stats, dropped frames, how my rendering performance is doing. Got my thermal temperatures up there, just make sure everything's staying nice and cool and quiet. And then this is the ATEM multi-view. So the way I'm doing this is I'm using a Elgato Cam Link, and I'm taking the multi-view out of the ATEM into the Cam Link, and then I just have a dummy scene made in OBS called multi, and then I do windowed projector, and voila. Now this is particularly when I'm in a one monitor setup, so this is like ultra portable Flypack situation. If I have space and room to bring another monitor, usually I'll have a dedicated multi-view monitor sitting off to the side, and I will just run the HDMI directly to it. But that's not always the case, so sometimes I have to keep everything in a 6U with the monitor, and when that's the case, I just simply plug in the multi-view to the Cam Link. This is what it looks like when it's up and running, and I have to say I'm really happy with everything, and it's not that expensive. I'm really pleased, and I want to give a big shout out and thanks to all the developers working diligently on the Open Broadcaster project and also on the companion project. So I'll put those links in the video description so you guys can go check those out. But I hope you have an awesome day. Thanks.